All right, so I'm gonna see if I can knock this out in one take. Welcome back to the Cast Content Machine / Unstuck Sessions. I wanted to disclose some information. I literally just got off of a phone call with a client that I've been working with over the past year. And the feedback I got was, Brian, you're brilliant. I don't think people quite understand what they're getting or why they need to be recording themselves. Like, why should they pay you to teach them how to record themselves? And it's a piece of feedback that stuck with me. So I'm telling you the why. The reason why I'm doing this is, listen, I accept feedback, I implement feedback. That's how I grow. A lot of times people fall in love with their own thinking too much and they end up limiting themselves. And so I'm trying desperately not to be that person. But here's what it is. He's right. And that's why I'm recording this. It's the same reason I need you to start recording yourself too. Here's the thing. My YouTube channel's been shifting. I am pulling the curtain back. I'm letting you see the work. I'm letting you see how the sausage is made, the messy parts, the growth moments, the failures. I want you to see all of this stuff. And it's not because it's what's trendy or anything. It's because that's the only way people really understand what I'm offering, is to be fully transparent what my growth process is. Hopefully you can pick up something that you can implement along yours. Okay. And it's about letting people know what you are and what you do and why they should rock with you. If people don't understand what your transformation is, they can't buy from you either. They need to see you grow and pivot and things along those lines. They need to hear your voice, but they also need to watch what your process is and your progress. The reality is, we are less trusting of faceless brands than ever before. We've entered a stage where these faceless brands will poison us or rip us off, and people really are getting disconnected with that. You can see a lot of these nationally known fast food chains are scrambling because they're losing clients because they've lost a lot of trust from people that normally would do business with them. Major brands like Campbell's are having PR nightmares because they're normally a faceless brand, but somebody who has a face that they can relate to the brand ended up saying something that was controversial, and now they're reeling from that. Okay. The conversation today reminded me that people buy based on connection and not what your credentials are. In my case, somebody could tell me I'm brilliant, but it doesn't matter if they don't see me and they don't get what I'm offering. So they need to connect with your face, your tone, your energy. That's the bridge. That's the gap that we're bridging when we turn on cameras or write content or do something creative for the sake of our business. Okay. It's not just about doing business, it's about forging the connection so that the client knows that what we're offering them is for them. Recording yourself is, we're trying to teach you how to start building your brand out loud and in public and associating what you're offering with a real life human being that exists. That's how people figure out who you are and what you do. That's how they understand your process, your mindset, and your framework. And that's how they connect with you on a level that's deeper than just that cash transaction. If you talking it out and kind of explaining where your process is and really forging that connection, showing that you're a human, it forces that clarity. Recording forces that clarity. It tightens your message because your mouth has to make it real. Like, you have to speak it into existence. And just by turning on the camera and getting more active with my recording and talking to y'all, it's helped me narrow down and laser down my brand focus a lot better. Okay. Here's the thing, organic content is winning right now. People are exhausted by these polished ads. They're tired of ads that look like ads. From the consumer standpoint, from the business owner standpoint, this shit is getting expensive. It's getting really, really expensive to create and pay for paid ads. I'm not saying that that process needs to stop or anything, but it's getting to the point where you have to completely outspend the person sitting next to you if your creative is not better than theirs. And for a lot of businesses, that's a losing proposition because whoever has the most money ideally will win. Here's the thing though, no amount of money is going to make bad creative into good creative. So you could put a bunch of money behind a terribly inauthentic piece of garbage and boost it into a million people's phones. But If it doesn't connect, you've just wasted all that money, as opposed to an organic post that actually finds a genuine connection with people that people actually enjoy. Maybe you make them smile. Maybe you give them a piece of information they didn't know. That's going to get a lot more legs and develop a trust a lot faster than those ads that are just kind of copy and paste. Okay. The entire old boy on the longboard drinking an Ocean Spray ad, that was Ocean Spray's biggest ad ever. And they didn't even mention the brand. They just showed the label and they couldn't keep the stuff on the shelves. That's organic reach. It happened on TikTok. It went viral just because they were selling the vibes, bro. That's really what it was. They're selling the vibe of this is the mind state that Ocean Spray puts you into. Okay. It was relatable. It was real. It wasn't forced. It wasn't paid actors reading a script or anything. This was a real thing. Okay. When I put myself on camera, when you put yourself on camera, people understand the person behind the brand. They understand the person behind the company name. Okay. They understand that there is a person behind there. Okay. I mentioned paid ads are getting expensive. You can't brute force your way through bad creative. It's just not going to work. More money won't fix content that doesn't connect with people. But authentic content where you're representing yourself and people feel like you're representing who you truly are, they can build a connection with you. You jump on there and solve a problem for them, or just bring a little bit of joy to their day. That does so much to establish that connection. And then if you have a brand and you are aligned and you're positioned to solve a problem for them, they're going to ideally do business with you. But talking directly to your audience, raw, imperfect, honest, ahs, all that stuff, not quite liking how your hair looks, not quite like it, how the facial expression you made looks, all that stuff, all of those things build authenticity. Not saying be completely unprofessional with drool on the corner of your mouth and all the other stuff, but I'm talking about authentically showing up as you. That does more than anything else. I talk about a lot of different content creation ideas, and I've done all of them essentially. Video is the barrier that's easiest for most people to connect with. Yes, you can do newsletters. Yes, you can do picture carousels on Instagram and things like that. You can do audio stuff, but video is the lowest barrier to entry for a lot of people because it's the easiest thing for them to connect with. They could see a person talking, this person solves a problem, they instantly connect with that person. People connect with you messing up your words. You guys are used to it by now, right? I hope you are. My brain fires off words faster than my mouth can process them or say them. Okay. The humanity is a magnet, it draws in people. Okay. That's why my channel's shifting. That's why your content needs to shift too. This is why you need to start recording yourself. Like I'm talking all this other stuff. You have to start recording yourself to make that connection with people. Okay. These just walls of text with a link at the bottom, it's not connecting with people, y'all. I'm like, I got to be honest with you. Walls of text with a link at the bottom, you're losing so many people that would otherwise do business with you just because you're not even really considering what their experience is with your brand. It's just a wall of text with a link at the bottom for them to buy. Okay. Platforms reward creators, they don't reward lurkers. I'm hoping y'all understand this. If you're not recording yourself, you're making the algorithm fight against you instead of pushing you forward. They want people to watch videos on their platform. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all TikTok, all of these platforms want people to watch videos. That's what they're pushing. You can get some of that. You get some of that juice and push things forward. Okay. If you're not recording yourself, the algorithm is fighting against you. Okay. A single clip can talk to thousands of people while you're at work doing your day to day. I shock myself. Sometimes I'll post these reels on here. I don't even look at the numbers. I come back, 5.5 thousand people have seen this video. Okay. A bunch of likes. People like the stuff. They share it with other people. This creates that traction, that runway that you need to actually really do business. So by the time you're saying, okay, so if you want to do business with me, here's where you go. They've already built that trust and rapport with you. They like you. Thousands of people can be reached while you're at work or with your kids or while you're sleeping, while you're in the gym. That's the leverage. That's the real pipeline. Okay. That is why I call it the content to cash machine. By creating content, eventually you create a situation that is conducive for you to get paid. And I'm not talking about monetization. I'm not talking about clients in your inbox reaching out to you. My client I just spoke with, we haven't done anything on his socials collectively. We haven't done anything in months. His phone is still ringing with job offers based on the content I created for him and I helped him build out. Those are real life outcomes. It's not marketing hype. It's not trendy bullshit. It's real. And that's what I'm offering for you. Do you want real outcomes that you control on platforms that are made and designed for you to what's called UGC, user generated content? It's optimized for user generated content. Then you need to you need to stop thinking about it and get in the content to cash machine, because we're about to start my first 3-day sprint in about 20 minutes. What are you waiting on? You're waiting for perfection. Perfection doesn't show up. Perfection doesn't follow people who stand still. Okay. You sitting here overthinking it doesn't bring you any closer to your ideal life. Just means you're sitting still. Your audience isn't buying your skill set. They're buying the version of themselves that your skill set helps them become. They're buying the transformation. This is why you need to start recording yourself, y'all. Recording yourself clarifies the transformation. This is why I'm doing this in public. I want people to see exactly how I think, how I build, how I solve problems, how my mind moves in space, how I deal with adversity. I want you to know all of this stuff. Okay. That's why I wasn't even mad when my client basically said, because it's something I've known. Brian, they don't know what you do. You're talking over their heads. You need to break it down to say, this is why you need to record yourself. That's what this video is. I just had this conversation maybe 2 or 3 minutes before I turned on this camera. That's how raw this video is. Okay. So what this means to me is I show more of my process. It means I show more of the work. It means I show behind the scenes. That's what my assignment is. But it also means I clarify. You need to be recording yourself. You need to be finding a way to create your own content for your own business, to drive business to your business ventures. You have to be the face of your own brand. Okay. So if you're ready to start recording yourself, you want help structuring your message, join the content to cash machine. The link is in the description. We're doing 3-day sprints. I'm not doing 5-day. 5-day is enough for you to quit midway. 3-day, we script it, draft it, record it once, revise it, record it again, and we get it shipped out in 3 days. That's what the push is. I got plenty of tools and all kinds of other stuff to make that happen for you. So if you're ready to start recording yourself and want help structuring it, join the content to cash machine. All right. Or I do have a 5-minute video scripting system in my Stand Store if you want it. Next thing in my Stand Store, I'm going to be uploading the AI prompts that I use to help me generate content. These aren't for free. I'm going to have one that's for free that you can test out, but the rest of them you're going to have to pay for. And these things are actual prompts that I use to write content that makes money for me. That's it, y'all. Let's get in this thing, bro. Let's get this thing rolling. Take action. Like I said, you will not move closer to perfection by sitting in the same damn spot. Get moving. The lowest barrier to entry is your camera. You have a camera on your phone. You have a world-class camera on your phone. You have a microphone system in your phone. All you need is a light and an idea of what message you want to put out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just got to be done. I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. Content to Cash Machine and the Unstuck Sessions. This is Brian. I'll catch up with y'all later. Be easy.